All right. What's happening? Good evening, good people. Thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. I see some Steeler family already in here early again, and always appreciate you guys coming through, man. The cross viewing, if you will. So I definitely appreciate that. But what's happening, folks? We don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight, even though one of the topics may allow us to dive in deep. But I want to say that just in case, we might not go to a full exact time. And you know what? I don't even think we're going to really have time limits no more. I mean, obviously we won't go but so long, but I think to make it more organic, we'll just come on here and talk. And whenever we're done, we're done. So that way you're not trying to stretch out time or you're not trying to, be too short, and we'll let it rock like that. But anyway, how's everybody doing? Tonight, we're going to talk about a couple things, and forgive me for not taking notes. I'm actually going to have to go to the stream here and double. Well, no, I remember. First thing we want to talk about for sure is we'll talk about the Super Bowl, give you a quick recap on the Super Bowl. Then we want to talk a little bit about MLB The Show, man. A little bit of news that came out today in terms of their Create a Stadium feature. And I think I saw something about, that you being able to take your road to the show character elsewhere. But we're going to approach it from a different angle, man, in comparison to EA Sports. And then finally, to wrap up that discussion with EA Sports and Madden and such, we'll talk about our good buddy Rex Dickson, man. He put out a tweet earlier today that, in my opinion, is very telling, very eye-opening. Even though he said stuff like this out of his own mouth before, Smitty and I have continued to say things. Azure continues to say things. But it just seems like everyone just doesn't always, either they don't remember. Let me adjust this camera. There we go. Either you guys don't remember or you just don't
Be right
believe
back.
us. But all right. But the fact that, Rex came out and said a couple things that he said today, man, I think it is crucial and very important for you guys to kind of understand that whole side of things, man. Very interesting stuff there. But other than that, man, I'll spend a little time in the chat really quick as we wait for Smitty to get back, because we're gonna give our 2 cents on the Super Bowl. And if Smitty takes a moment, I'll just go right into that. But I want to say what's up and hello to a few of you folks in here, man. Still a Nation 412, Luke Coates, Thad
All right.
Ratcliffe, Fats the Man, Dr. Funk 1984, good brother Hollywood is in here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So like we always do, guys, just to allow people to get a little bit of time, to get up into the show, we'll start off with any news that we want to share outside of our topics. As you can see in the back there, let me get out the way. Look at that, look at that. Embiid up in the house. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about the Sixers. Then we'll dive into the topic. So, and I got something crazy to share with you guys. I forgot don't think I had even told Smitty and Azure something that happened to me on Sunday. The Steeler people know because I talked about it on Terrible Towel, but I'll share that. But what you guys, Smitty, man, how was your week? How's everything been going? And anything you want to discuss outside of the scheduled topics?
Everything's been good. Week has been week has went been it's been pretty good. So for the most part, um, shoot, I don't have anything super really to talk about. I mean, Pistons got rid of D Rose, rightfully so. I mean, he needed to move. We needed to make some kind of movement with him. Unfortunately, we've stuck with Blake. You know what I'm saying? Griffin ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody, there's no real value with him anymore. So, unfortunately, that was just a dumb deal that was done to get him over here in the first place for all that money he was just signed for. Um, but I mean, you know, Pistons are going to be a team in development. They're like what the Tigers are, what the Wings are right now, and now what the Lions are about to be. A team that's, basically going through the motions at this moment, but they are building, like they're getting pieces, not necessarily the best pieces, but just taking a look to see how, they're evaluating. They're evaluating talent, see who may or may not have value. You know what I mean? Like we got Dennis Smith Jr. Hey, push come to shove, he's another draft. Basically we got another draft pick out of him. If he hopefully he can do some good here because he has game. He definitely has game. Like I don't even know I'm not like the biggest Dallas Mavericks fan or follower, but I don't even know why he got cast away from the Mavs because he didn't look bad when he was there. So, and that's the team that drafted him. So, we'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening. But I mean, hopefully he can take the opportunity when here to kind of revitalize and revamp his career. Otherwise, it'll be a wrap for him. You know what I mean? Like he'll mess around and he'll probably be out the league. So I don't know. But yeah, that is true though. Bay and Stewart, they are balling. It sucks that Killian Hayes got the hip injury and he's out for the long period of time that he's been out for. It just really sucks because I really wanted to see if he honestly could progress, how he would progress with this team, especially seeing how Jeremy Grant, now we didn't see him truly come up more and more now. Like he's definitely a solid guy now. Like, he dropped 32 or something like that on the Nets the other day. And I mean, I know they didn't have KD. The Pistons beating these good teams have mainly been when the opposition did not play at full strength. Like we beat Philly and they didn't have Embiid. We beat these guys and they didn't have what's his face? KD, the Nets, and they didn't have KD. I don't know if we beat the Lakers. I think we did. Yeah, we did. We beat the Lakers, and I think they didn't have AD. You know what I mean? So it's like we're not beating these teams honestly at full strength. But they're coming away. We're coming away with wins. Yeah, so hopefully we don't get too many now because I want us to get a real good draft pick or at least a real good shot at getting a draft pick. I mean, we ain't making the playoffs, but if we could get ourselves another good draft selection, I mean, shout out to Troy Weaver. He's done a great job knowing what the situation is, blowing it up, getting rid of as many pieces as he can, and just starting from scratch, building this team up. So we'll see what ends up happening, man. We'll see what ends up happening. And yeah, you're true. That is true, though. The Pistons should not have been able to win that game, but hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? But just gotta wait and see, man. I'm glad to see D Rose back with Coach Tibbs. He got, he's putting in a little bit of work out there. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. And one thing about here locally, they talked about it on the radio today. They're a little bit bitter because Stafford had said, now I get the opportunity to play in big games. In big games now, Bill going because he's going over to the Rams. And it's like, I understand where the bitterness comes from. And I see you, OG. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome. Hey, thanks for them draft picks, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, thanks for them draft picks. But no, the thing is that if, there were games and there were seasons, not many of them, but there were years where the team was in a much better spot to do well. And Stafford didn't do a good job at sealing the deal. Like he didn't come through. And, I understand this is not like basketball where it's like a player could just take over games and things like that. But he didn't seal the deal. And I understand Aaron Rodgers, and you look at other quarterbacks across the board, and, when you look at what these other quarterbacks have done, they're all better teams. And I can understand why Stafford would even say something like that.
Yeah.
Look at all the years he's been there losing. Look at all the time. Look at how much he's been beaten up. Look at how many he's had different head coaches, different coordinators, different schemes. O-lineman getting banged up, no real running game. He's had to throw the ball plenty of times more, I'm pretty sure, than he would have wanted to. Defenses that were not all that competent or consistent. Calvin Johnson was the best thing he had. You know what I mean? And that's sad to say. Like, he can't come up and say, yo, I had this phenomenal Hall of Fame now, Hall of Fame wide receiver in Calvin. But I also had these good receivers, and we had good play calling, and we had good schemes drawn up by, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't really have that for the bulk of his career. And yet, look what he was able to do. So for him to say, hey, it'll be great to be able to play in big games now, I can definitely understand why he would feel that way, or why he would sound because he's been getting beat up for the better part of 12 years, and he's been on a team that's been underachieving for the better part of 12 years. So it's about time. You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, I'm going to go. I went to greener pastures, and he did. You know what I'm saying? And now we got Jared Goff, which more than likely 2-year, he's more of like a 2-year audition, or 1 or 2 year audition. If he's good, we may keep him. And then I think we touched base as far as the draft. I mean, everything that's being said locally right now is quarterback mainly. Go for the quarterback. Get that quarterback draft. And that's based off of Jared not really being that good, you know what I mean? Like, because of the fallout and everything, how his performance is trending downward, you know what I mean? So, now he's got an opportunity to recover here. If he balls out, then hey, there it is. You know what I mean? So, we'll mess around and have somebody, but otherwise, I don't know. You said static coming through? Do I sound staticky, you guys?
Not to me, but do I sound staticky to you guys?
Yeah, does Seminar sound static?
Yeah. And y'all might have heard some noise in the background, and my bad if you did. I was trying to get this little video clip up to show you guys. Y'all probably kept seeing something pop behind me and Smitty. It's a part of what I'm going to talk to you guys here in a moment, letting y'all know what happened to me on Sunday. But yeah, if y'all can confirm that really quick, man, before we move on. And everybody, okay, Still a Nation says we good. It's me. Okay. Is it still doing it? Y'all let me know, is it still doing it? La 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 la. Testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Do y'all still hear static on my end? Somebody confirm, man. I don't know. Static. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me see where it's coming from. Give me a second. Oh, I know what it is. Man. Hold on. Y'all still hear it? Good now. It's good now. Okay. I know what it was. And actually, I'm going to fix it. Yeah, let me fix it. Y'all said we good now. All right, so basically what it was, it's the video that I'm about to show you guys. I forgot that there's audio in that video. But before I do that, everything's been good with me, man, for the most part during the week. Y'all know we're about to dive into the Super Bowl talk. Everything's been good, man. And as you can see, let me duck out of the way one more time. Boom, boom, boom. Joel Embiid, baby. My Sixers is on the rise, man. You know, it's got me something to be proud about. We'll see, though. We'll see, because the Sixers have been showing promise for the last few years, and they just fizzle out. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of people who really watch basketball kind of understood what was wrong with them. And again, I'm not a basketball savant, nowhere near close to what I am, you know, as far as how I feel about football. But you know, the Sixers for a while, man, they just couldn't win games when they needed to. They couldn't get enough stops, or they didn't have enough shooters and things of that nature. Embiid never played the way I thought he could play. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he never really dominated to the level of what he's doing right now. The reason why he's in the running for MVP. And we got some pieces, man. You know, we got some pieces around him, man. You know, some shooters, you know, with Green and, you know, the other Curry. And I don't even want to say the other Curry. Let's put some respect on his name. You know, Seth, who is a shooting fool as well. And they got some pieces there, man. And I think, you know, the Sixers got enough to really, really, really compete in the East. I don't know how good or bad the team is just yet. It's still early. But let's see, you know. And I still want to see Ben Simmons improve a little more, you know, stretch his range out, even though I've seen him spot up and shoot a couple threes, you know, this season. But they're still kind of like, oh, okay, good shot. You know what I'm saying? I want him to develop a real shot. You know, I remember I used to say that about LeBron early in his career. Like, man, if he get that mid-range game going, once you get that in your tool bag with the skill set that Ben Simmons has, sky's the limit with those two dudes, man. Keeping those cats together, sky's the limit. You know, they have a nice, young, talented team that might be able to make some noise. Other than that, let me show you guys what actually happened. Now, this was before the Super Bowl. I can laugh at it now, man, you know, to keep from crying, man. And that's just figure of speech, of course, you know. But it was kind of like depressing because you couldn't do anything at the moment. So let me show y'all this clip. This happened to me right around 1 o'clock-ish on Sunday. Let me pull it up. As you can see, I am pushing water. I don't know why the video is flipped this way, but I'm pushing water out of my basement. Look at that. Now, what you're seeing right there, let me widen it up a little bit. I don't know why the video is flipped. That's weird. It's kind of flipped the wrong direction. But anyway, what you guys are seeing here, this is like 2-3 minutes after it started. So what basically happened is the water right there behind the water pump. It's not the water pump, but it's you have your main, water line and your main water valve and all of that connects the water, obviously, that's coming from the outside into your home. And then, of course, you can control it with the valve. Well, I'm sitting down right down in here. I'm on the computer. I'm actually playing a game, right? I might have been playing 2K. Something with a crowd. And I hear this noise in the background, and it kind of sounded like a little hissing sound, like a shh. So I thought, maybe that's the crowd in the background. But then I said, no, it's a little louder than I thought. Took the headphones off, and I could hear that there was some type of water sound coming from right over here to my left. I get over there, and the water is coming out ever so slightly. Like I can see it coming out, but it's kind of like, imagine putting your hand under a faucet and trying to keep it from running. You know how water's still like shooting out from your hand, et cetera, et cetera. That's what it was doing. So when I realized, okay, this is actually water coming from somewhere. I tried to shut the valve off. Nothing happens. I said, okay, we may have a problem. Shut it off again, and it disconnected. And I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm going to illustrate it here. Right there. You see that? It is completely disconnected to the plastic tubing there. So what you have there is a steady stream of water rushing into the home from the outside, like main source, and I can't stop it. It did this for literally an hour, a little over an hour before the water company came and shut it down from the outside. But man, when I tell you it was crazy, I'm sitting here just watching water get higher and higher and higher and higher. Unplugged all of the electronics. My desktop that I'm streaming on right now is sitting on the floor, so I had to unplug that, rush that upstairs, grab all the monitors, grab the PS5, grab other stuff that kind of got damaged, but it was crazy. So needless to say, man, that I could be happy about it now. Good thing, and this is not a commercial, but almost like the commercial, Liberty Mutual is for real. They already cut the check, and the check actually came in the mail today. What they basically had to do, guys, is take up all of the flooring in here and all of the flooring in my hallway, all the way down to the foyer. So there you have it. So what a day, right? Right before the Super Bowl. But anyway, man, that's the only, crazy thing that happened to me in that regard. Something that's kind of off kilter of the comments and not comments, the topics that we're going to get into tonight. So, what we want to start with, man, Super Bowl. I'll go ahead and give you my thoughts, man, and then Smitty can chime in when he get back. It was just like I predicted. Y'all know I'm lying, right? You know that's a joke. I did not expect the Super Bowl to be like that either way. I didn't. What I expected was a Bucks team that was going to be ready to play. Number one, they had already lost to, the Chiefs early in the year, and they kind of embarrassed them, especially Tyreek Hill putting up however many yards he had total, but the dude had like almost 200 yards or 100 and something in the first quarter, I think. Something crazy. Y'all remember that game, right? So I had a feeling, man, that there was going to be a heavy chip on their shoulder. But yet I still thought that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and a lot of times I don't always like to lead with one player and say stuff like, oh, so-and-so and the Chiefs, or so-and-so and the Steelers, and so, because it's a team sport. But when I say Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I have to say it literally that way, because this guy, he's special. He's special. And he even showed some special things in the beating that he took in the Super Bowl. But, some people don't see it that way, and I'll get to that as well. But I thought that these guys would still get the job done. I thought that they were going to be able to muster enough offense. I thought it would be a challenge. I wasn't one of those people that, again, I wasn't one of those folks that got duped and thought, oh, since they did what they did to them in the regular season, it was going to be the same in the Super Bowl. No, I didn't think that. I'm pretty sure there was going to be some adjustments, but I didn't have it blown out like that or dominant like that from either team. I clearly thought that it would be a close game. I thought Brady and company would be able to score, and I just thought the Chiefs would outlast them. But, man, what showed up to me more than anything else, and most of us who really pay attention to football, when we've all been through, and it's funny, Smitty, because I've heard people even on this show sometimes when we talk, and they'll comment and say, oh, Smitty's making excuses and da-da-da when you talk about the Lions, but this was an actual fact in this game. Those two backup linemen and the shuffling of that line showed up more than, if you never believed that could have a damaging effect on a team, it showed his head in that Super Bowl. Yeah. They simply could not block them. It was nothing they could do. I've never seen anything like that before, man. Like to that degree, this dude was literally running for his life. And like I said, still made some uncanny throw. Like some of them throws he was making, I'm like, how did it even get to the receiver? So I'm not going to say I'm shocked. I'm not going to jump into all of the GOAT talk and non-GOAT talk and it's over. Like, I think people sometimes get too wrapped up in those type of things, man. Like, I just want to say this piece really quick before I throw it to Smitty. Why is it, and I know this is a social media thing, I get it, but why are people so knee-jerk reaction type? Like, and everyone is so like, bias, they're result bias driven. I'm seeing people saying that Mahomes sucked and Mahomes choked. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're talking about the guy. And listen, I love Patrick Mahomes. I've been on him since college. The dude has been more than advertised. You talk about a guy that has done damage in his first 3 seasons. A dude who won the MVP, came back the next season and just won the Super Bowl, which was last season, by the way. They got back to the Super Bowl. Balled out this season, but all of a sudden, because in your mind, you thought he sucked in the Super Bowl and didn't really pay attention to why they couldn't do anything. The Bucs defense was on their head and they couldn't block him. And even those ridiculously like acrobatic or magician-like throws that he made was hitting receivers in the head. I just don't get that, Smitty. And, sometimes, like I said, I don't know, maybe it's because we're maturing and getting older. But sometimes I have to take a small break, man, from all of the. And the reason why I say that, because, you see it in the Madden world so much, too, is like, sometimes you got to step away from all of the nonsense. And I just don't get it. How you look at that game and say, now he's trash now. Like, dude, are you serious? But, hey, man, hats off to the Bucs. If you look at the stats, Brady didn't have to do much. He did enough. And, yeah, you got to give the man his credit. I mean, listen, I'm going to be the first one to say it right here, right now. Even as a Steeler fan, listen, man, I know there's always going to be an eyebrow raise for Deflategate. There's always going to be an eyebrow raise for Spygate. But you can't deny. I mean, listen, man, I don't think at this point you can deny this dude's game. Do I think he's the most talented? No, I've always said no. I don't think he's the most talented quarterback, but one of the most cerebral guys, maybe. Yeah. I mean, one of the most efficient guys. Yeah. Look at that story. You go to another team, and I know the team's stacked. We know that. But still, you went from a Patriots team that never really had a stacked team, except for when they lost to the Giants with Randy Moss. Lost, by the way. But all of their Super Bowl seasons, their teams weren't overly stacked, and they still won. So it's almost like you put him on that team, hey, man, hats off to him, man. But last thing, Smitty, media and just general people, can we stop doing these nonsense comparisons? Why do we have to say he's the best athlete? No. Athlete? Come on. And OG probably could chime in on this. Athlete. Y'all gonna sit here and tell me that this dude is a better athlete than Michael Jordan? Or how about this one, Smitty? I saw him comparing him to Serena Williams. What? What are y'all talking about? Yeah. I guess it's just the stats. I get that. He's the most individually championship. I get all of that. But that's where it ends for me. Don't just stop. To me, it's silly. Let's just say this dude is the GOAT. He has the most championships. He has more than even my beloved Steelers by himself. He got more than any team. And let's leave it at that. But when y'all start saying the dude is the most athletic, you must have forgotten what that combine 40-yard dash looked like. But shout outs to Brady, man. And hey, they got it done. They proved me wrong. I thought Pat was gonna get it done, but shout outs to Todd Bowles. Wow, what a job, man. What a job. But how'd you feel about it, Smitty, man? Obviously you're going to probably say you were a little shocked as far as the result, but were you overly shocked that the Bucs actually beat them?
No, not to the fullest extent, because it reminds me of back when the last time the Bucs had won it, when Gruden was the coach. Now, mind you, they had a huge advantage because literally the year before, Gruden was coaching the Raiders, and then he went over to the Bucs, and then the Raiders made it there. So it was like he knew what to do. He really would have knew what to do. Not taking any credit away from the defense, but that's just the thing. The NFL show actually it's in any sport, any team-based sport, basketball, football, I'm pretty sure hockey, like any of those sports. Defense reigns supreme overall. You could have a phenomenal offense, but if you got that defense and and if you're able to get some of those numbers away, it's a wrap. And that's literally what the Bucs did. When I saw Mahomes running all the way back and turning around and doing all that stuff. Now that I didn't like. I didn't like how he just immediately was darting back 15, 20 yards and all that stuff and then chucking it. Look, that was not smart. But
backyard football.
Yeah, he was doing those Madden, those MCS throws, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trying to throw dots off his back foot, running away. But the thing is, and honestly, what's sad is that he hit receivers in the helmet. So they didn't come through. His receivers didn't. Yeah. See, it was bad enough that he had to actually face adversity, and he didn't face adversity until the Super Bowl. See, he took somewhere. It was like when AI broke Jordan's ankles. He took him somewhere he ain't never been before.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's Mahomes never had to face, oh, snap, my O-line imploding this bad? Oh, man. That's what.
It was bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
oh man,
it was like if it was, and I mean, I know people don't like. I know people in the chat won't even like it, but see, this is what I would debate with cats about all the time when I would talk about Stafford. When people bring up other quarterbacks, other real good quarterbacks, and I'm like, they have much better offensive lines, though. They have these greater offensive lines. Now, let's give them a line like the Detroit Lions, and I guarantee you they're not going to do well. Guess what Mahomes had? What Mahomes had was worse than Detroit. You know what I'm saying? That was worse than Detroit. But did he look elite? Did he look elite at all on that Super Bowl Sunday? No, he did not. People marveled and said, "Oh, but look at the throws he made." And it's like, yes, he made some spectacular attempts. But look what happens when you don't have that protection. You don't look great. Aaron Rodgers, I said the same thing a few weeks ago. People will think I'm just capping for Stafford. No, that's the reality, dude. When you don't have the protect, it's bad enough when you don't have the offensive scheme. But when you don't have the protection like that, you're not going to look that good. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what happened. It happened to Rodgers a few weeks ago, and the same thing happened to Mahomes on Super Bowl Sunday. Them boys couldn't make that. Them boys had that brother retreating, running around, all that. I got to give props to the Bucs defense. They came with they had a nice scheme. Like you said, Todd Bowles drew up a very good scheme. Sold them various kind of looks. Sometimes he was just rushing foe and they was just getting in the backfield. I'm like, yo, okay. I understand you got your backup guys and you got dudes playing out of position, but it's like, come on now. This is crazy. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you put a guy like, I can't even say if you put a Stafford in there, he'd be all right. Like, he would be a bit more accustomed to that because of what he's had to deal with in Detroit all them years. But yeah, you can't put it on. It doesn't matter. You can put the greatest quarterback in your own personal opinion ever, and they're still going to get decked. There's no way a quarterback is going to last back there. It's just no way. Too much. There was too much pressure defensively. They did a phenomenal job. Much props to the defense. and the offense too. And I will say this: they
Byron
did call
Leftwich.
some they did call some ticky tack penalties.
Oh man, yeah.
I ain't even going.
They
I
got
ain't even
hosed, man. They
that.
did. They
Yeah,
did.
they got it. Like Tom Brady should have got that unsportsmanlike conduct, especially going at Matthew, and he didn't. They only pointed at Tyron instead of him. Like, nah, man. Like, yo, y'all. The pass interference they called on Matthew in the end zone, that wasn't a catchable ball. He wasn't going to make it there no matter what. And it was like, go ahead and call it. And even the other one, the PI call toward the end of the half and everything. Like, I'm like, he wasn't going to make that catch. You know what I'm saying? And even if dude laid out, I highly doubt he still would have caught that pass. And it was like they still called it. I'm like, okay, man. Like, y'all, all right. It just seemed a bit sketchy over there with all that. Like, yeah, I'm like, they being real selective with these calls. But at the end of the day, just like what happens, excuse me, to the Lions, you got to make plays. You got to make things happen. You had two receivers you had two receivers get hit in the end zone, ball
Doink.
goes to the hand, hits in the helmet. Like,
They hit
I'm
the
sorry.
doink.
And this is with Mahomes basically playing
Yo.
ping pong back and forth in the backfield and chucking it over there, and you not coming down with it? Nah, dude, that ain't acceptable.
How
Like,
amazing would it have been if Hill comes down with that catch?
yeah, that's
We
what
be
I'm
talking
saying.
about the most amazing throw, one of the most amazing throws you've ever seen.
Yep.
But
And and also on top of that, just think he comes away with those two touchdowns. Now we're looking at a different game. You see what I'm saying? Now the score is tied, or who knows? That momentum shift. You see what I'm
yep.
saying? Like, you never know what could have happened. Those two touchdowns, who knows what that could have done in terms of turning the tide for the game. Instead of kicking field goals, you get them TDs. Hey, we could have been looking at a whole different. Now it would have been a much tighter bowl game. And I think it really would have came down more. It would have came more down to the wire in terms of who was going to come away with it.
Yeah.
But it played out the way it did, unfortunately. So
Yeah, man, I still think it was a good one. Just seeing, like, I'm with Smitty. The defense, I love seeing dominant defense, man.
oh yeah,
I like this on offense. I like to see plays made, when you get hit those big plays. But I don't want to say I'm not a fan of this, because if your team can score 40 or 50 every game, why not? But I'm cool with a 24-21 or 28-24, even 35-20. I'm cool with my team made some big plays when they needed to do, but my defense was balling. I love them kind of games. Again, y'all talking to a Steelers fan, man. I remember them years, the glory days when Steelers winning games like 17-13. Like 10-9. Like that's football right there. Not saying that, again, I like to see, I'll give y'all a perfect example. A couple years ago, who was it? The Rams and who? Who was it? Was that the Rams and the Chiefs? Who was that to put all them points up? Was that the Chiefs and the Rams?
oh yeah, that was Chiefs and Rams. Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
love that game.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was offense, 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 offense. But
Yeah.
like Smitty said, man, defense, when you got a defense that, again, that's why I grew to respect for the Ravens being a division rival. It's like looking in the mirror. They the hard nose, and like them years when Ty Detmer, not Ty Detmer, Trent Dilfer.
Oh yeah.
That defense that they had, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Ravens.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
That was
Nasty.
beautiful.
But yeah, man. But other than that, man, I think me and Smitty summed that up pretty good, man. Definitely was some ticky-tack fouls out. Well, fouls. Thinking about basketball, but they are technically personal fouls, flags. Let me see. Was there anything else? Oh, I gotta give a shout out to Antoine Winfield Jr. That level of petty right there, I love it when he hit
Yeah,
Tyreek
with
Hill
the
with the deuce. Yo, I love it. He hit him with the slow one as he's getting up. Love it. I love it. And it's because, again, I love the fact that it was context to that. You go back and watch the first game, and we know Tyreek Hill does this, but he did it to them especially a lot. The deuces, back flipping into the end zone and all that. So to me, that was a petty thing to do that you needed to do, just to be like, yeah, we got to get you back here. So I thought it was cool. The only thing I didn't really like about the Super Bowl, and I know I'm being petty here, speaking of petty, The Weeknd as the halftime performer. Let me say it like this, because I know he's become this meme now. Everybody's showing him going through that little maze thing. Listen, coming from a music guy, let me explain this the best way I can. And this is just my opinion. I'm sure there's people, maybe even millions, who loved it because they love him. I said to my wife before it even started, like days before the Super Bowl started, I was like, yo, The Weeknd is dope, as far as what he does. Because I remember when he first started, I don't know if that's Super Bowl music. And what I meant by that is he doesn't have Bruno Mars. The reason why Bruno worked even before people knew who he was, Bruno is a performer. He's like, and Smitty would probably know this, even though it's well before our time, but he'll still know what I'm talking about. He got that Mars Day and the Time type of vibe. Like,
oh, okay.
You got like 6-7 people on stage. They got that dance, that choreography. So I knew Bruno was gonna work. He got those type of records that are performable. You can, they're showcase music, and he had the pop music. So I knew a guy like Bruno was gonna work. Prince, same deal. Even though he was Prince, you knew that's gonna work for the Super Bowl. That's Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Beyonce. Like you got to have a certain level of showmanship, and I didn't think the Weeknd had that, and I don't think his music matched. He didn't have a songs to me that he could perform that way, and that's how I feel. Oh, somebody right here just said he's not a performer. Exactly. Not a knock on him, because again, guys, y'all talking about somebody who's been in the music world. Is not a knock on him as a artist. I just was really questionable about him being a Super Bowl performer. Hence the word performer. Mm-hmm. So I won't feel in it, but it's all good. Just wanted to say that. But yeah, man. Oh yeah, Michael Jackson. Come on, man. We ain't even got to talk about the Kang. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have that. You gotta have that. If you ain't got that, it's tough for you to pull off that particular performance. That's the Super Bowl performance is not like a niche crowd. Weeknd is a niche artist. Like certain people are into that vibe. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Was there anything else, man? Super Bowl, yada 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 yada. Shout out to the Bucks. Shout out to Bruce Arians, man. He's not only was he an ex, he won a bowl with us, back in the day with Pittsburgh, but he actually is from like 10 minutes from where I live. That's where he's from. So shout out to Bruce Arians, man. I always liked Bruce Arians, again, of course, when he was on our staff, and I just think he's one of the coolest dudes with his little Kangos and stuff on, man. So I'm happy for him, and Antonio Brown got a ring. Ain't that something? That was tough on Steelers fans, Smitty, to see either Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
When they should have daggone had one with us, with all that offense we had. I said this on Tuesday. At one time, technically, I'm not talking, apples to apples, but we was almost like a Chiefs. We had about a 2 or 3 year run where our offense was like, we giving you 30. No defense. Absolutely no defense. That's why we didn't go to the Super Bowl with all that talent. You had a team where Ben Roethlisberger was playing pretty well. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant. My God.
Oh, yeah.
It's a track meet out there. a big track, like he's a big giant track star. That's why people love Chase Claypool now, because it kind of reminds them. Even though I think, hot take, this ain't a Steelers podcast, but let me say this: Chase Claypool is going to be better than we ever thought Martavis Bryant would be. Chase Claypool is a dog. He's bigger, he's physical. You mix that with the speed, he gonna be a problem. he's gonna be a serious problem. The more and more mature he gets, because it's like Calvin. Calvin wasn't just now. Smitty probably can answer this more than me. Again, I didn't see a bunch of Calvin, but I don't know if I would label him, and hopefully I'm not saying this wrong, Smitty. I don't know if my first thought about Calvin Johnson, if I would say he was a physical receiver, but he could be physical, if that makes sense. A big boy, he'll push, stiff arm a dude. But I don't know if was he a physical playing receiver? You know what I mean? Like let me give you an example, like a Hines Ward or Antoine Bolden type of dude. Was he like a roughneck physical type of dude? Like, I don't think he was.
You said he was physical.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't no little fella.
He wasn't no.
So that's the whole thing. He was he was a tall, strong guy. So if somebody tried to jam him up on the line like that, like, no, he fought through it.
Yeah.
So
okay. How was his blocking? Pretty well, or just kind of so-so?
Yeah, he was. I mean, well, no, he did a good job at blocking. He did a good job. He wasn't great at it, but he did a good job at blocking. But see, that's the thing. The thing with Calvin was, like, if dudes try to jam him, he was quick to see. That's the thing with him having that foot speed too. It's like he can push off quick. So it's like if you can't lock him in place, don't try to just stay. Oh, I'm gonna stay wrestling. Like, no. Because he's gonna get away from you and create that separation. So
he was nasty. He was a freak, man. So basically, what I was just gonna say real quick to wrap that up, and it's funny how people are trying to compare Chase to Megatron, calling him Mapletron because he's from Canada and all of that.
Oh,
but I was just gonna say that was the kind of the parallel, and I was just saying I don't know if people label Calvin as a physical receiver, even though he had it.
Oh, yeah.
With Claypool, like, you already see it. Like, that dude is a physical dude. And he will blaze past you. So that is a dangerous, again, just like Calvin in a sense. It might even, he might play more physical than Calvin. How about that? He might be a more physical, like, type of player. And again, that is not a slight on Calvin, because Calvin, shout out to him for getting in the, man, come on. Right. There's no way he won't get in there. That dude was just a freak of nature. Love seeing him play. But that's the thing about Claypool, man. I think that he has opportunity to be special, because how do you play him? You gonna bring somebody up to jam him, or you gonna give him space, or it's gonna be interesting. But that's for another day. But that's all I got for the Super Bowl. The next thing we'll breeze through, guys, is this MLB The Show news. Basically, I'll read it here, what we have, man, on Twitter as well as Operation Sports. On Operation Sports, they're reporting that there's two things. MLB The Show, Road to Glory, is a two-way player and cross-mode integration. From what it's saying here, it looks like you'll be able to take your Road to the Show player into Diamond Dynasty. And I also heard the words other modes. So I don't know if that means you'll be able to take them in the franchise. That'll be interesting. But we want to talk about not really just that. Let me read the other thing really quick. Apparently there was a leak out there today, and we don't know how legit this is or not. So let's just say, quote fingers, apparently, on the San Diego Studios page on YouTube, they basically gave a breakdown of MLB The Show 21. It says how to play your way into 21 with Coach and Fernando Tatis Jr., PS5, PS4. But what it says here in the body, it literally says, and let me get it here so I can read it all to you guys. Let me get back to it. I just had it. It says, in MLB The Show 21, you can play your way with tailored gameplay styles that range from competitive to casual. Pre-order MLB 21 The Show. MLB The Show 21 out on April 20th. Isn't that funny? Some of y'all will be smoking and playing 420. But also, it says here, there are more ways to play than ever in MLB The Show 21. Take your ball player across game modes. Oh, that's why I saw that. Modes. So I wonder if that means more than Diamond Dynasty. To own every at-bat, every pitch, and every play. Fire up the new Stadium Creator mode and build the next great ballpark. And for the first time ever, MLB The Show is available on Xbox. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to go into my point, because you know with me and Smitty, it's not always the obvious point that we want to make. This is a reference that I want to throw at EA Sports' way, EA Tiburon, as a matter of fact. And our last topic will tie right into that with what Rex Dickson tweeted today. Here's the thing. What is it that most people say about Madden and why they won't progress? Most people would say the reason why Madden, well, there's two reasons, but most people would say these two reasons. Madden is never going to get better because of MUT. That's the first thing. Again, that's going to tie into the Rex Dickson tweet from the day. But that's what most people say. It's MUT's fault. Me and Smitty sometimes will challenge that because we'll say, well, no, wait. Every other game has a form of MUT in it as well. Don't give them that excuse. Even if that is the reason, let's not give them that excuse. But the other thing that people say is there's no competition. And that's what I want to talk about really briefly here. How is it that a game that at one time was on one console and it was the only game of its kind still has a very deep game and a very deep offering to give to the people? Now, I know what some of you guys are going to say. Some of you hardcore baseball fans are going to say, nah, man, but it was missing stuff. I'm sure it was. Some people even have told me it's not the most simulated game in the world. Oh, okay. Maybe. I don't know. Because, again, what I always tell you guys, I'm focused on football. And when I compare Madden to these other games, I'm looking for fundamental aspects that should be in every sports game. Depth, the way the players move, player interaction, and AI. That's what I'm looking for. So when, again, you'll hear Smitty say this a lot with FIFA and NHL. When we play those games, do we know everything about soccer? We don't. Do we know everything about hockey? Absolutely, I do not. But I'm looking at how those players are moving and animating and AI and collision detection and physics. And I'm saying, well, I need to see that on the football field. Same thing I say about 2K. Same thing I say about FIFA. Then we start looking at depth. And every game on the market right now is deeper with your career experience. I'm not even talking about my career, because I mean 2K, and shout outs to OG. Y'all know OG was there for the growing success of that. Mm-hmm. Bruh, what they did with my career is, I mean, that's so far out of the park. It ain't even nothing to talk about no more. There's no other game, and well, at least none that I played that's on that level in terms of creating your own player and taking him out into the neighborhood or the city or whatever it's called now. Nuts. And how many different things you can do with said player. But I'm just talking about just the franchise experience. Those of us who just want to replicate our team in a season or GM type of environment. Every other sports title on the market is deeper than Madden. Why is that? How is it that MLB The Show can be the only baseball simulation available? And for the very first time this year, it's finally available on Xbox. They were doing all of this on one console. But EA Tiburon won't do that with Madden. Wake up and smell the coffee, folks. And what I'm saying is, we're going to get to it here in a minute after Smitty gives his thoughts. It ties into what Rex Dickson tweeted today. Now, do we play Madden from time to time? Sure. I mean, I've always said these are games at the end of the day. Get whatever enjoyment you can get out of any game that's in your console, especially if you pay for it. Why not? So don't listen to the people who try to criticize somebody for playing a game. That to me is so stupid.
Well,
Y'all know what I've been doing lately. I'm tying this, my Steelers podcast stuff into Madden franchise, and we having a pretty good time with it. I'm not even worrying about the views on that because it's just fun for me to give that to the Steeler folk while we wait for some real stuff to talk about again because there's no season.
right.
I'm not so concerned with being the Madden. I told y'all that I'm so far away from that now. Maybe if the game ever gets really legit, but so it's no harm in playing a game, even enjoying it, and still critiquing it. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. But clearly, if you guys don't understand after tonight, it's those who make the decisions and make the investments with Madden that is holding the game back. Every excuse that you could give them is out there now. It's so exposed now. MLB The Show is the only baseball game, and they are offering you this create a stadium. How long has some of the franchise people, and even me and Smitty probably would tinker with that if it was there. But how many people are like that's what they do? They love to relocate and build a team from scratch, create a stadium.
I was on that Madden 04.
It was in Madden.
You know what I'm saying? Remember, you could you could buy the screens, and you could actually see some of the renovations.
This is sad, man.
They had it like back on PS2 and Xbox. Like you can do it.
What's the excuse? They just don't want to, or they don't care. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. And again, just to let you peek behind the curtain. And speaking of which, this is kind of a sidetrack comment, and it's not necessarily about this. But OG, we got to talk. There's some questions I have for you, and I'll say it here so you know it's not anything crazy that you can't say. I'm just not going to share what I want to ask here, if that makes sense. Keep it more private, like how we used to do. But it's just some questions I want to ask, not even about Madden or anything else, because I don't even know what you're actually doing at EA. I know you went back, and I don't even need to know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to find that out. I just want to kick it. I just got some questions about, from somebody who's been at a place and went to another place and now back. We'll talk. It just goes to show you, man, it ain't because it's the only one on the market. Now that excuse is off the table. It's not because Mutt. Nope. Other companies have Mutt. It's like I was once told by somebody who works there. Some of them people who make the decisions don't get it. They don't get it. They know they making money, and that's all. They don't get all of the like they're not talking to the grassroots. A lot of companies has a grassroots department, like, in layman's terms, it's like the people that's in the trenches. They don't pay attention to that. They don't. That became very clear to me, and I'm going off on a small tangent. I will keep it short. Became very clear to me, and the more and more and more involved me and Smitty and Azure were in the Game Changer program. It became very clear. And I could name other names of respected guys who was there with us, the Shops of the world and the Sean Masons of the world, the Bobbies, the Mad Side. I mean, a bunch of people. I know I'm forgetting names, but forgive me, guys. Y'all know who y'all are. Ronnie, Mark Rollins, bunch of us. Even, shout outs to even SGO. SGO was a part, coming down with us. Spade was, it became very clear to me that, shout outs to Kralo. We were the grassroots. And I think one of the saddest days of our Game Changer lives was when some of the again, I'm not gonna say names for protection, but when some of the developers would tell you, fam, it ain't us. Like, and I'm like, huh? Because mind you, again, me and Smitty old enough to understand how corporate America works, right? Even before we went down there, we kind of know it's a chain and this hierarchy. We know that. But still, with a gaming company, I didn't know the business as far as, dang, it's still people like, it still work like that? To where they like, no, we're not, like, but y'all make games. Like, wouldn't everybody involved in gaming want to have the best game? That's what I would have thought. But as we quickly found out, we want all that. We want this. I had this. Listen to what I'm saying very carefully. Man, I had this in the game in February. It's gone now. Man, I had a prototype for that last year. I don't know when that's going to make it. And the proof is in the pudding. There's so many things that I have seen to have now gotten in the game that was scheduled to be in the game that was coming the current year. And it didn't come until 2 years later. Fam.
There's stuff Wednesday that was in the game that ain't never made it back.
Man.
Yeah.
Somebody said, it's Clint. It's not, man. Well, you know what? Let me say this. Let me go on record and say this. I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for the devs even. I just know what I was once told. I don't know if maybe some of this have changed. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be 100 with y'all. I'm glad OG is in this chat because I think OG heard me say this when the first time when we knew he transitioned back, from 2K. At the end of the day, let me be very frank with y'all. As much as I want a great game, I ain't fought none of these men for earning their paycheck. Listen to what I'm saying. Let's say it was Clint. And it's for the betterment of him and his family. I feel you. It's just a video game. Now I know what y'all gonna say. No, man, if he can't. No. Y'all, this is America, folks. Y'all see how crazy it is out here, right? Right now. Amongst all kinds of stuff with all the different things that's going on in the world. The pandemic and racism and all of the stuff. You expect me to be mad at somebody for just making a paycheck and doing what they gotta do? I ain't mad at that. Now, I understand the people that's going to say, nah, be your own boss. I'm with all of that too, but I'm saying I'm not going to sit here and blame any of the devs that decided, man, you know what? It ain't even worth me going back and forth no more. I'm going to do what these people tell me to do, and I'm going to earn this nice, solid paycheck that I can take back to my wife and my newborn kid and respect. Didn't I say that about OG? I haven't spoken to OG, but I seen people saying, man, he went back to EA sometimes. I said, nah, you never know. It could just be the check, bro.
Yeah, it could be.
And I ain't mad at that.
Very possible.
OG, he can see it in my eyes. I'm keeping it a buck with him. I'm not mad. If that man was to tell me, and I would never share that, but if that man was to say, yo, Sam,
man, they
came with the bag, bro. I feel you. Even though he was over there at Almighty 2K with the Sim product.
Yeah.
Dog, these people still got to live and eat. It's a video game. To me, I'm taking the morals out of it. Let me be all the way clear with y'all. It's a video game. I'm not judging nobody's morals from a dev standpoint. Now, if you're talking about EA company, now we get into the moral bag. Because morally, I think they way off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know better than that. Go look at your previous work. Y'all out here stealing. And I know stuff that they may not know that I know. Yeah. Y'all are dead wrong with some of the stuff that y'all are blatantly doing corporate EA. But all right, man. Back to what I was saying. No more excuses, man. I mean, it's going to get to a point where Madden might end up being an afterthought. because once the college game comes out, and let's just say it's mediocre. Let's say it's NCAA 14, and I mean that respectfully when I say mediocre. People might take the better of the lesser. They might choose that product over the Madden product, even if they're both not stellar. So Madden could mess around and phase itself right on out if they keep playing. And no excuses, man. If MLB The Show is still trying to push certain envelopes, they the only product on the block. You need to be doing the same, man. You need to be doing the same. But sorry, guys. It's just sometimes when we start going in, man, you just had these revelations. What you think, Smitty, man? First of all, how do you feel about that stuff in regards to what we're hearing about MLB The Show and as it correlates into Madden? And then if you want, we can go run right into the Rex comments and we could be done right after that.
All right. I mean, MLB doing what they're doing, and that's why, like, when I said, yo, I'm getting that Jackie, like I said last week, I'm getting that Jackie Robinson edition off top. If MLB The Show was producing the game at a level like a NBA Live or Madden, I wouldn't give a care that they had a Jackie Robinson edition. I wouldn't get it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I used to buy Madden and not give a care like that. I used to be like that because Madden was putting out that fire quality game. Like, I bought that Madden 09, the 20th year edition that had, that was in the silver box and everything, because I played Madden 08 and I was like, yo, okay, like, now this looks good. If they coming out like this, all right, I'm good. I played Madden 09, it was terrible. But I had bought, yeah, you know what I'm saying? but I had bought that special edition. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh, that's Madden. Like, come on now. But see, when it's MLB The Show and how they be putting games out, I ain't
already know what it is.
Yeah, like, it's automatic. I'm getting that. So there's that. Creating a stadium. Look at how much buzz creating a stadium got. Look at how people on Twitter and everything, oh, yo, if I could create this stadium and that stadium and this one and that. When you have a game that, and like Sim said, none of these games are going to be perfect. I know the game has flaws and shortcomings, but real talk, it's a complete title. It's got a lot going on in terms of giving you that immersive baseball experience. It does. It has a lot in there. Okay. I hate that you can't do the year-over-year saves again. I hate that, but I can also understand why it was took out, because you're talking about next gen. And think about it, we didn't have next gen yet. So how would you? I'm pretty sure it's something they tried to work out. Like, could you take your PS4 saves and bring it into the Gen 5 version? And I'm pretty sure they tried something with that and it just ain't work. So, and the other thing too, I was about to say, when you're building a game on multiple consoles, you're kind of building on the same chassis, so to speak. So you got it coming on Xbox as well, and they'll be like, what would be the point of having year-over-year saves when this is Xbox's first year, plus it's the next gen debut, on both consoles as well. So I can understand why they took that feature out. It sucks though, but I understand. Oh, excuse me. But I mean, the thing is, like what Sim was saying, to see this game get all this love in an open space, no real competition, no threat to their franchise at all by anyone else, and look what they're able to do. Look what they keep doing. You know what I'm saying? And like what Sim's saying, like even when it comes, you look
They
at a
about to
guy like,
outsell Madden in a minute. You watch on
yeah,
both
that's on,
consoles.
yeah,
That's gonna be yet another game that's in the
mhm,
simulation bracket that's gonna start outselling Madden. You watch.
yeah, because and that's the thing, they put the modes in the game for the first time because they never had simulation mode and comp mode and casual mode. So now they're outright promoting it like this is how the game's gonna be when you play it on this mode, that mode, or the third.
It
So
scares me a little bit.
and they got new controls in there too. So you know, well, at least it appeared like that looking at the trailer. But like, what was you saying, Sim?
I'm glad you said that, man. That just sparked another thought. Does that scare you a little bit? Or do you think they will hold the same integrity? And where I'm getting at is I love the fact that MLB The Show never, they just made baseball the best they could, right? And if you look at 2K once did that too, casual, da 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 da. And I don't think it affected the gameplay, really. I mean, as far as
Well,
in a negative way, it may have. I don't remember.
no, it see the thing is in 2K though, you went into the options and picked it. You had the default, and then you had the arcade and the sim and all that or whatever. You had default, arcade, sim, and custom. With this here, I think this is actually better in my like just thinking about it because all we really had were difficulty multipliers. So if you use the scaled up difficulty thing they had in there, like you could just scale up your difficulty as you play, and they made the game progressively get tougher and tougher in various areas that you control, from like fielding, batting, and pitching. So you did have that. Um, but I like the fact that they're instead of it just being a universal experience, now you can really segment the way it plays. And plus, remember, MLB doesn't have just one way to control everything. They have a variety of throw controls, pitching controls, fielding controls, batting controls. So whichever lane you choose, it's like you can essentially still create your own fishbowl to be swimming in. So you still got that. So I like it, and it's the sad part is when you look at Madden, you look at games like Madden and seeing what they're doing. Like it's not, and that's like what we're saying here, it's not on the dev team. That's 110% on EA. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's people above their pay grade that honestly they're more concerned with pleasing investors instead of taking care of the consumer and giving us the best product possible. So
And the thing is too, it is a thin line, man, because I think people misconstrue when we say what we want out of a product. And I say it all the time, and some people will challenge this. Madden is not that far away. They ain't that far away if they just took the time to address the way the players interact, physics being a part of the game at all times, and AI. They do that. I don't think we complaining about Madden if we talking on the field. Now, off the field, they need a lot of work in the depth area in franchise mode. A lot. But, people sometimes laugh, Smitty, when I be like, that game ain't that far. Listen, let me tell y'all the reason why, you know, in the past, me and Smitty had played Madden as much as we did. Now, not so much. Like I said, I'm still doing my tie-in with the Steelers stuff offline, but I don't play online anymore because I just can't. I had to step back from the league, man. Some of some of the things that the game lacks in terms of AI and stuff like that. And it's almost inevitable you're going to have people in the league that know how to abuse the AI. And it's like, it's not fun. Now, if my guy just gets beat, great. But when there's certain things in the game that they just don't react, and I'm not saying they need to make the play. I just want them to do what I'm telling them to do and try your best. And maybe because you're not as fast, as aware, as agile, you don't make the play. But at least let me be able to go on the replay and be like, oh, he was too slow. He couldn't make it. Not just stand there. Y'all know that just standing there like this, flat-footed. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's other things. But honestly, it ain't as far away as people think if they address those areas. Player movement, they addressed it. Now, of course, you still build on that, but on Gen 5 or next, whatever they want to call it, oh yeah, that player movement is different. Now, I see people all the time being like, it's the same. It's not the same game. Movement-wise, it's not. Player movement is different on next-gen consoles. But again, are they that different in terms of the game? No, probably not. But you can't deny that. And that's what I'm saying. If they attack those main areas, y'all know how for years me and Smitty kept saying player movement, player movement, player movement, player movement. And finally now it looks like they're back to where they need to be that can be improved upon. Because I'm sure you can even make it even cleaner, even more realistic with this new technology now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what makes it even more frustrating too, is that they just took the time, man. The game Madden could be back to being a good game if they and listen to what I'm saying. I'm only naming 3 things, but those 3 things cover so much ground. Player interaction. That's how they interact with each other. That's, removing and ridding the 2-man animation, or at least eliminate it the best you can. Little things like that. Making physics always relevant. And AI, you have a completely different game.
Yep.
Then you start sprinkling in all of the bells and whistles. Oh, the weather looks nicer now. How about we make the weather affect the game? How about we make it affect that player movement, that change of direction, the wind carrying the football. The ball is wet now. Now you can start doing that. Oh, passing. Got to loosen that passing game up a little bit, for sure. Then now we can start dumping everything in there. Oh, let's get all the franchise features. But we're just saying it's a shame that the game just... How is it that people sitting at the top don't realize that? If I was at the top, listen, I'm going to be completely... I'm going to play the completely arrogant business... I mean, not arrogant. Let's be the ignorant business mind. All I know is, how do we make money? I'm pounding the table. I hope you guys hear that. Pounding the table. How do we make money? Right? And one of my people come to me and say, yo, man, Take-Two Interactive and over there at 2K, they killing us. Look at the numbers. I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, what is happening here? Like that year that 2K sold like 12 million or whatever. I'm looking at that like, how are they doing this? You mean to tell me there's nobody to say, well, I think what it is, sir, they literally have something for everybody over there, and they really focus on details. What do you mean? Well, I mean, if you take a look at their franchise mode, it's really deep there, and you can play as a GM, and they got everything that you pretty much could think about in a real basketball setting. And they have this, and they have that, and you can play for fun, and you can create a player, and you can... And it seems like at some point it would click, even with the money people, because again, people who all about the money want to know how they make more of it. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. So why isn't anybody sitting in those seats wondering, how can we get more money? How is it that nobody has been able to figure out where that 2K crowd is at? The 2K football crowd. Smitty said it here before. There was a time when 2K5 and Madden 05 came out together, and there was 2K sold a few million copies. So did Madden. Nobody has ever asked themselves, where are those millions? They are gone. Where are those people? And wondered why you didn't have them. I don't get it, man. And it's, again, maybe we know too much now. It's just, that's the approach I take, man. So again, for people who continue to ask me like, yo, oh, see, now look, here's an interesting take here. Shout outs to my man Shadow Slayer. He says 2K hasn't been good since 16. But see, here's the beauty of it. It's debatable. Because there are a lot of people that I know right now that say, yo, 2K21 is the best they played. I love 2K16. I've seen other people that I know that's rocking 2K14 on PC. They think that's the best. So that's the beauty of a game that has a wonderful foundation. It's people that do the same thing with MLB. They still playing MLB the Show 15. That's what we're saying. With Madden, you never feel like you can do that. You got to go all the way back to like what Smitty said. You got to go back to 05 or 08 to get the complete experience. But let's be fair. Gameplay as a whole isn't on the same level. So you're still losing somewhere. See what I'm saying? With 2K, for the last, let's say, 6-7 years, the gameplay is pretty consistent. It may be some things that they've changed here and there, but the foundation is there. The franchise is, so you can play those older games and you good. We can't do that with Madden. Every year we trying to find, man, I hope this the one. Man, I hope this the one. It's sad, bro. And y'all want to get a little sadder? Let's go ahead and read this tweet, man. And we can close the show out with this one here. Good brother Rex Dickson, man, and hopefully we can get Rex here on the show, man, here at some point. And honestly, not even to talk about Madden, man, because I don't think. I know his NDA is probably up, but I wouldn't really want to go back down that road and rehash that. If he wanted to volunteer some information that we've spoken about, great. But I wouldn't want it to be about that. So Rex, if you're listening, man, I really just want to talk about what you're currently doing. We're gonna read your tweet here, and I want you guys to pay very close attention to. And I can't even say cryptic because it's clear as day. He says, and I quote, "I don't care about the money. The money will come. I want you to focus on being creative and making a world-class experience for our players." He has this in quotes. This is not him talking. Okay, let me read that to you again. Quote, "I don't care about the money. The money will come. I want you to focus on being creative and making a world-class experience for our players." He goes on to say after that, "Waited too many years to work for people like this. Sony, you are an amazing company to work for, and I'm never looking back." Let me read that again. Rex's words. Waited too many years to work for people like this. Sony, you are an amazing company to work for, and I'm never looking back. That sums up every single thing you've ever heard Smitty, myself, and Azure mention about it not being the devs' fault. We're only talking about innovation and progress. You want to blame the devs for what's actually in the game and what's working and what's not? That's fair. But keep in mind, some of the things that continue to be broken is because those up above is not allowing dev time to fix these things. But it's still fair. You got to be judged for how your job is being performed. So technically, when there's things wrong with the game, it's fair to judge the devs on what they did and didn't do for the current product. But I'm just talking about progression. Did you hear what he's saying that Sony or his boss said to him? We don't care about the money. Money will come. Let's just focus on being creative and making a world-class experience. That is the problem at EA Tiburon in terms of the Madden division. And hey, I might even go further than that and say the NBA Live division. Because it seems to be something about Tiburon. I don't know what it is. Listen, there's good people there. Great people. OG knows most of these people I'm talking about. OG, my man. You know, I knew OG before all of this. Before, you know, all of this. You know what I'm saying? Before OG was a dev, that's my dude right there. I'm gonna always say, nah, man, OG, good people. I don't care what he working on at EA. Y'all ain't gonna be able to say anything crazy about him as a person. Because once again, let's get back to reality. If my man went there for the bag, I ain't mad at him because he a good dude. I'm not mad at that. Now, I could be dead wrong, but I'm just saying that's how far I would go with him. Yo, I'm not mad at that because we talking about video games. But at the same time, it ain't their fault, man. It ain't their fault as far as what they're able to push for. Again, there are features that I have seen with my own eyes that have not made it in the game. They got taken out. It was presented to me early in the year in their presentation for him. This year's Madden, we got the whole DAC gone. Oh, this is what I was going to say, and Smitty, and then I'll throw it to you that I forgot about earlier. I wonder how much trouble. Nah, I ain't going to get no trouble because I'm not saying anything specific. And at this point, listen, I ain't been there in a few years, so whatever. I went down there. When was the last time I was there, Smitty? I was there for 19, right? Madden 19, I think it was. Yeah. It wasn't 20, and it wasn't. Yeah. It was 19 because 18 was long shot. And I remember then, again, anonymous, I won't say any names. I remember then I was told the plan of long shot and how long shot was supposed to be. And I knew then that long shot, okay, was, I got a story to tell. This might be a second. I'm thinking of a lot of stuff now, Smitty, that's just coming in my mind now. When I was told about the projections of long shot, what is the first thing y'all think that me and Smitty and others did? Oh, man, listen. Actually, y'all know we hated the idea. You know you should have did this first. But, I played through it. There's some elements in there that, franchise could really benefit from. So I was told, this is the plan. Those things like right there, that, and that, that's going to be in franchise in 3 years. Because the plan is to roll out long shot for 3 years, yada, yada. Combine, like a lot of these things, right? That's the plan. Long shot only lasted, 2 years?
Yep.
It didn't do what they thought it was going to do. So you know what my question was? Hey, whoa, time out. What about them features, though? You know where some of them features are showing up? You guessed it. Face of the franchise. But here's the funny part, right? So you get past that, and then, I was down there for 19. We were literally testing a feature for the next Madden while we were there to assist on 19. Early in the year, okay? Now, if you guys are, if you're good with math, the Madden 19 comes out in 2018. So early on 2018, I'm down there. We're testing a feature that is to be premiered in 20. Needless to say, it ticked a lot of us off that was there. We was like, whoa. This needs to be a 19. Because 19 didn't really have no bang feature. Y'all remember that? It wasn't really nothing to knock your socks off. We was like, yo, why don't y'all put this there? This might help, This is something. This is I guess a box to the back of the box. Something. Nope. It's gonna be for 20. Now keep in mind, listen to what I'm telling y'all. I'm testing it. So if I'm testing it, I don't have my controller down here. My PS5 is still upstairs due to the flood. But if I'm testing it, that means I am literally playing this feature, right? It's already there. Guess what, folks? It's not in Madden 21. You follow me? Down there for 19 to test something that they plan to premiere in 20, and it's not even in 21 on either gen. That's 2 years already. 3 Maddens if you want to consider our thought when we were like, man, y'all need to go ahead and just let this be in 19. It's working. Just tune it. We're playing it. So if you want to include that, that's 3 Madden games that the feature that I physically tested going on 3 years. Yeah, because I think it was February. And we're in 2021. Newsflash, that's not a development thing. Why? It was built. You hear me? It was there. The devs built it. That ain't their decision to take it out. Yeah, man. I just wanted to share that because, like I said, at this point, man, to me, none of that stuff matters no more, man. Like all of them games and all of the, because I know who I'm talking to, and my good people there that work there, they know I ain't talking to them, and I've been saying this for a long time. Y'all remember? I've been saying this for about 2 years now where I was going to start aiming my disdain, if you will. And whatever happens, happens. I ain't breaking no rules. I haven't broken an NDA. I'm not saying anything specific. I'm just letting y'all know, yeah, I've seen stuff. And that ain't the only thing. Y'all remember I've said this before. There's another feature, again, that was on the deck. And I was like, oh, that's going to be dope. It ain't, bruh, that was supposed to be in 18. And it won't in 18 because, exact words, we don't have enough devs to finish it. Know why? Because the devs were pulled onto Longshot and Frostbite. Because the higher-ups needed to have it right then. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah.
Every now and then I like to share some information with y'all, man. Let me read this because I did want to say this, then I'll throw it to Smitty. Somebody in here, Smitty, messing around with you. This ain't the comment, but it's like, you good. Smitty's tired, man. Me too. For some reason, I'm just not dangling. Like, I'm holding it together, man. But me and him talked before the show. I was like, bro, this might be a short one. And here it is almost 10 o'clock. So we're going to be getting ready to get out of here after Smitty talks. But real quick, this is a fact. NYKia says this last update was actually pretty good for once. Should have come out 4 months ago. He's correct. Go check out his video. It's a lot of the coverages.
Yeah, they did some work. They did some good work on the cover.
And like I said, and Kia probably can say this as much in the chat. The game ain't that far away. It's not. If they keep that stuff together, and my big 3. Remember, it used to be big 4. Now we down to Ice Cube. Big 3. Right? AI, player interactions, physics at all times. You see in 21, especially on next gen, y'all see how animations can be interrupted in tackling? You see how guys can pile on? Why can't we do that with everything else? Why? Why can't people add on to a trench interaction or a physics moment, add on to a 2-man animal? You see what I'm saying? It's like it's right there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I do know, but yeah, I know. What you thought about them Rex comments, Millie? It's very telling, right?
I mean, yeah. We've said this for the longest time, man, it ain't on the dev team, man. It's people up above. Man, how come they ain't? I'm like, to be quite honest, And we've said this in the past too, with all the different things that we could elaborate on in terms of the game, like all the things that they have idea wise. If they did a quarter of the things they did, this game would take off. But they won't do it. They didn't want to allow them, enable them accordingly. In terms of building the game the way they want, or uh, presentation needs to be like this and all that stuff, or whatever. And no, none of that stuff really happened. So that's why I say, like, Rex saying this, don't care about the money, as the money will come. Focus on being creative and making world-class experience for the user base. Bruh, that
Sony.
crazy. When they say something like that, oh, I ain't worried about the money. That's gonna come. Build a great product. That's all that matters. Everything else will get that down the pipe. That kind of stuff right there is huge. That's the kind of stuff you should always remember. Never forget. So him doing that, yeah, it's amazing. And like what Sim just brought up about seeing about stuff done in MLB The Show. I mean, not MLB The Show, in Madden. And it's like, look, Madden's made some improvements and things like that. And like Sim was saying, it's not that far away. But think back to the Rex interviews that he did post working at EA. Executives held him back. And it's like, oh, these are the same reasons that he made, before or whatever. Like when he was employed and he would stream on his own. He would talk about, like, man, there's so much football stuff I want to do, but executives and higher ups just want a shiny new toy, and that's it. And it's like, oh man, like he just being outright with it. So
yep, in them streams. I remember.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he be talking.
I used to hit him up in the DM like, Rex, you got it? You good? Because you got to check on your people. I don't know, maybe you had a drink or two and you just start relaxing. I like, yo, you know what you saying? He was like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, all right, just checking. Because you saying, this is the come at me, bro. So right. Like you edging up on one of them moments again in your streams, but it's all good. We appreciate it.
Oh man. But no, that's the main thing that I got. And I mean, that was just like an epic statement from Rex. Huge for him to say something like that. I just hope also that whatever it is that he's working on or making happen, that he is successful, with it. Like, that's the biggest key. But all in all, yeah, that tweet alone explains everything. When people want to second guess developers and all this stuff, look at this. You know what I mean? Look at what they're showcasing here. EA got to get it together. They up here playing around. That's the main thing that I'm getting at with it. They keep on playing around. This is crazy. So
crazy, man.
Yeah.
The long shot was living proof, guys.
Yeah.
They literally thought. Oh, God. They thought that was going to bring in the new players. And I get it. I get it. And listen, let me be very clear and very frank. We talking about business, right? NBA 2K has a mode for everybody. You want to be loose with it? You want to just create a player and go have some fun on the playground? We got you. You want to be a little more competitive with your created player? We got the Pro-Am. We got you. You really think you that nice, you dope with your created player, and you want to really, really, really compete? Oh, we got 2K League for you. You want to go play Ultimate Team and collect some of your favorite cards? You want to spend a little money? Oh, we got you. We got my team. Oh, so you want to know what it's like to be a GM? We got you with my GM. Oh, you just want to replicate the franchise of your team? We got you. Oh, so you mean you want to create a player, get drafted from college, and go play in the NBA? Guess what? We got you. And that's my whole point. I ain't mad at the Madden people for wanting to find ways to bring in the new player. But when you have people, again, back to my grassroots comment, you bring us in, the people in the trenches, and we like, yo, this is how you get your people back. Make it authentic. That's all you have to do. Offer an authentic experience on the field and off the field. And you're going to get all of those people who built Madden back in the building. And when more people are buying, it's talked about more. That's when you get your casuals.
Mm-hmm.
Casuals want to play with Patrick Mahomes and see if they can win a Super Bowl with him. Why don't you make that a deep experience? Oh, and you know what you could do? You could kind of do like MLB The Show, and you can have everything autoed. For those who don't really know, and I forgot what the feature was in MLB 20, where it basically can do stuff. They called it something where you ain't got to. I mean, Madden kind of has it, but MLB's was very segmented out where I don't really know nothing about that, but I just want to play. But I want to see if we can get to the Super Bowl, and I want to be like Patrick Mahomes. Casuals would do it because they see it on TV. But you got to have the depth.
Mm-hmm.
Feel the dreams, baby. Build it and they will come. It's simple. Listen, I didn't go to school for marketing, but come on, man. Sometimes the people in the trenches know what time it is.
Yeah.
It's simple. Madden was selling like hotcakes when there was no Ultimate Team, wasn't even no online. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Some of y'all, you know, I realize, Smitty, that some of the people that watch us are like 20, like literally 20 years old, 15 maybe. Y'all might not remember there was a time where there was no online gameplay.
Oh yeah.
It was this thing that we called couch play, meaning I'm going over to Smitty's house. He gonna bring Azure through. Azure gonna bring Neo over. Shake coming through, and we all just gonna have a little tournament. Or I'm gonna fire that boy up, and I'm gonna play run through a franchise. It was all offline. That's what built your game. That was what made Madden the mega. And you telling me there's not one person sitting at that table that said, wait. What did we used to do before when we sold all them units? Well, why don't we do that? Marketing 101. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, how did we make it to 10 o'clock, Smitty? We both was. I'm so tired. Y'all, be honest with y'all, guys. I just be honest. And y'all can start telling this as the show goes on. When I get tired, it gives me the same effects that I have when I've had a little bit to drink. You know how when they say people tell the truth and they talk a lot when they drink? I do that when I'm tired. That kind of keeps me up. I just keep talking. So as much as I've been talking, y'all should be able to tell. I'm feeling like Smitty. Y'all just don't see it.
Yeah.
I'm dead tired, man. Oh God! I'm as soon as I get done, I'm gonna go hit the shower and lay down, man. And
yeah, I feel that.
it's It's been a day. It's been a day.
It's been a very long day, just coincidentally exceptionally long day.
Man. School call them our phones at 5 in the morning to tell us that they got a delay. And I'm like, what y'all delayed for? They virtual. Who cares there's snow on the ground? My day, and I couldn't go back to sleep after that. Just horrible. But yeah, man, we're going to get out of here, man. So hopefully we gave you guys a good show. I think it was actually filled with more information than we thought we was going to have tonight. Hope y'all learned something. You caught me on a couple rants, and I told y'all some stories. But I want y'all to hold on to those, man. Like we tell y'all the real. We give it to you like nobody else does. And that's a fact. I'm not even tooting the horn, but that is a fact. as very few people has been willing to go to the depth and length that we go and tell y'all what's really happening in there. Ain't no whole lot of cats that have done that. And again, this is what I was gonna say. That people keep asking, man, why you don't go in on the game? That just ain't what I do no more. It's pointless. That ain't a shot at anybody who continues to post videos every day. Like I said, that's what they do. They get money like that. I ain't. Just leave me alone. Do what you do. Don't worry about what we doing. That's all I ask. But I ain't on it like that because been there, done that. But all right, man, we out of here. Smitty, anything else you want to say other than to tell the people to have a good night and go to bed?
Yeah, like I'm about to say, like, yeah, try to make sure you get as much rest as you possibly can before trying to stream or do any other activities like that. Because boy, that fatigue, boy.
Oh man,
I ain't gonna joke, man. When you're trying to just push through like that,
man, it's tough.
ooh-wee.
We did it though. I don't know how we
yeah,
did it.
we did, but yeah, hey. I'll say this. I will say this though. Just like on in terms of capping everything, and this is like the stuff with Rex. This is like the major pain point right here that we've made. This is what we've went back and forth with so many people with in droves, making videos and everything when we first went down to EA and understanding this. When you're talking about how the money, that's just secondary. Give me the primary product. That's the point that I'll be making a lot. If you give us a product that just has one key area done, like Sim talked about, the game on the field. Let's say they come out and you got the game on the field looking crispy, but your other modes aren't. Okay, cool. You go ahead and you build. You go ahead and you build, but it's completely different when it's like these devs are able to do exactly what they want to do. And look at the output they're getting.
Yep.
They're not. That's going to be part of the issue. You know what I'm saying? So at least from her end. But excuse me, at least from his, from his or her end in terms of whoever that user is playing the game. But I'm sorry. We got to see the company step up, give us the product. You give us the experience. People won't mind paying the money. Look at games like Overwatch and Apex Legends. Yeah. Perfect examples. Like those games, yeah, Overwatch, you can only buy accessories. And they rake all kinds of money in with the microtransactions. It's like, yeah, build the great game, build the world-class experience, which they've done, and the people will come. You ain't got to worry about no shareholders. That's what I said. Like, Madden could be making so much more money every year if they just would make a more phenomenal, flushed out product. And they don't. It's very barren. So, but outside of that, appreciate being on yet again this week. Sim and I, thanks a lot for every single person that did come through and hang out with us.
Yep.
Through the fatigue and all that good stuff. Y'all see I'm fatigued. Y'all know ain't no shame in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, got kids and all that stuff and everything, man. Hey, tired, bro. But it's always fun getting on with y'all and chopping it up with all this good stuff. Yeah. This gaming stuff and some real world sports stuff too. Like, but it's always fun though. But I'll throw it to Sim, man.
That's all I got, man. Ain't no need to me yapping any more than that. Make sure y'all do that right there. Subscribe, cut on your notifications, hit that like button. And we'll catch y'all next week, man. Hope everybody has a nice, safe weekend wherever you are. And that reminds me, I haven't watched the news in a few days here. I need to check and just see what's going on. So I would just say, just be safe out there, guys. Whether it's pandemic, whether it's weather. If you're on the northeast like me, or if you're in an area, where it's snow, then be careful with that as well, man. If you guys saw the little crash situation, man, in Texas, unfortunate. So be careful out there, guys, and hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna go watch some basketball. I think. No, I'm not. I'm going to sleep. What am I talking about? Catch y'all later. Same bad time,
Right.
same bad channel. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
All right. Peace.